A very good Monday evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us tonight on Unscripted. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend despite the cooler weather. Definitely felt like fall out there this weekend, and today a little warmer, but still a little chilly for this time of the year, which I don't mind this weather in like a couple weeks, but Joe, I've told you this before, I wouldn't mind also like another couple of weeks of maybe like some 70s and sunshine.
I can get you that this week, starting tomorrow.
I'll take it.
70s, yeah, a few clouds here and there, but it looks like actually a quiet, nice late summer week coming up.
Oh, perfect.
Today's kind of what we call a bridge day. Like we had 50s and showers over the weekend.
Right.
Tomorrow, 70s. Today we had 60s.
Yeah, right in between.
Right in between, as you mentioned. A little cool this morning. We'll show you that. Some spots actually did have some frost to begin the day today, so a little bit of a fall feel there. But again, a nice week coming up. That being said, there are a couple areas, Maya, that could see a couple showers tomorrow and Wednesday. So we'll highlight that and look at it the rest of the week in a few minutes.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. Our top story tonight, at almost any road construction project that has a detour, some drivers feel like they can find a shortcut around it and save a few minutes. Well, that's true at work being done on US 31 at the Benzie-Grand Traverse County line, where residents and law enforcement both have some concerns about folks finding their own way, not obeying speed limits and stop signs, and potentially putting lives at risk. Mark Gillette has that full story.
Oliver and I, we go for a short walk this time of day.
Most mornings and throughout the day, you can catch John and Oliver here walking along Wildwood Road in Grand Traverse County, the winding two-lane road that he's pretty familiar with.
Well, we've lived here 27 years.
In that time, he's noticed the typical off to school and work traffic, but after that,
most of the rest of the day is pretty mellow.
But recently, with the construction closure of US 31 between here and Gonder Road, he's noticed a pretty dramatic uptick in traffic through the neighborhood that isn't part of the official detour.
Pretty clearly, it's most people are cutting through.
And residents say most people aren't following that 25-mile-per-hour speed limit when they do.
It's safer for everyone, and it's not that big of a speeding and taking the chance of hurting someone.
Folks skipping the official detour and cutting through here fast raise concerns with residents. Add to that concerns from folks who do live along the detour route, who say stop signs and speed limits are being ignored.
I guess like the worst and most dangerous spot was at 31 South and Gonder Road, where there's a four-way stop there, and people just aren't recognizing it, even with all the cautionary warnings and things like that approaching it, and they're still just going right through it at full speed.
Those concerns led to more patrols.
We appreciate law enforcement. They've always been there when it's necessary, but at the same time, I hate to pay somebody to babysit grown adults.
Those extra patrols have led to more traffic stops.
The community police officer out there that's paid for by Green Lake Township made reference that there was over 200 stops made between Friday and yesterday afternoon.
Dozens of tickets written for violations, with the simple hope that behavior will change.
The big goal is just to get people to pay attention to the detour signs and the stop signs so no one gets hurt.
Including John and Oliver here, who understand construction delays and detours can be frustrating. But still, they have one simple request for anyone who passes them while they walk.
Drive like you live here.
That was our Mark Gillette reporting, and the rebuilding of US 31 is a multi-phase project that will include the addition of a roundabout at the South Long Lake Road intersection. That being said, work will continue through this time next year, so detours will be in place. Law enforcement, MDOT, and residents all ask the drivers follow official detours and obey all posted signage along the way. A pretty crazy story with, luckily, a good ending out of Otsego County. Over the weekend, competitors competed in a survival challenge in Pigeon River State Forest, according to the Otsego County Sheriff's Department. It was on a channel that's known as Survival Games TV, and it's on YouTube. Now, this challenge became much bigger when a 36-year-old contestant from California went missing for about 18 hours. UpNorthLive's Mary Jane Glenn spoke with local first responders who helped rescue the woman.
This is video of when a state police helicopter spotted a lost survival contestant in the Pigeon River State Forest Saturday around noon. She had been missing since Friday around 5 p.m. Emergency crews were not called in to help until early Saturday morning around 5 a.m.
There was a unified command structure, obviously, what that means is, you know, we got the call, the sheriff's office, but then we were also supported by and worked alongside with Michigan State Police, Otsego County EMS, Otsego County Fire, Charlton Township Fire Department, Star Township Fire Department from the Antrim County came over, DNR, multiple other agencies and law enforcement.
The terrain was extremely rugged. It was completely wooded area. There were times where we were crawling on our hands and knees to get through certain parts of the woods. But again, with the ice storm, there was trees down, which made some areas almost impassable for us to get through. That night, it had been raining almost the entire night, and it continued to rain on us when we were out in the woods searching for her.
The forest is vast, stretching 12 miles wide and 20 miles long. Sheriff Molidor says before the call for help, he didn't even know a challenge of this type was even happening in his backyard.
What I would suggest is notifying local law enforcement and the local emergency manager of that jurisdiction prior to you heading out into the state forest to do a challenge like this.
With the search involving so many agencies and a lot of manpower, we asked if the organizers of the challenge should be sent the bill.
This is what we do as far as the public is concerned. You know, these tax dollars go towards these things like that. As far as financials, if they're going to be charged anything, I would have no idea about that.
In Otsego County, Mary Jane Glynn, UpNorthLive News.
All right, and check this out. It's not something you would expect to see on a quiet Monday morning in Clare. A car through the outside wall of a historic hotel. The damage is extensive and it left people shaken. These are pictures of the scene, and we have some video here that we'll show you in a second. A van resting in the hallway of the Doherty Hotel on 5th Street downtown. Now, this happened around 9 o'clock this morning. Police had to pull the vehicle out from the building, and hotel staff said the driver was taken to the hospital.
I am here talking to my girlfriend at the Pier Marquette Library. We're just having a normal conversation when next thing you know, I hears a bang at the loud Doherty, and there is a whole vehicle through the center of that Doherty, and it was very scary.
Definitely an unsettling moment at one of Clare's most iconic buildings, but thankfully no one inside was hurt. Crews are already working, as you can see right here, to patch things up, and the investigation continues. Walked away from the scene of this plane crash standing straight up after going down over Manistee County. The sheriff's office said the crash happened in Springdale Township as the pilot tried to land in a field. It's after experiencing electrical issues. Now, both occupants from the Beulah area. The passenger suffered only minor injuries and the pilot no injuries at all. He told investigators that they had left the Thompsonville airport and were heading to Silver Lake when the engine failed. At this point in the investigation, drugs and alcohol not believed to be factors in the crash. Well, we have an update to a story that we have been following for several months now. That is the DNR's plans to reconstruct a beloved pedestrian bridge in Traverse City. The DNR says the work to take down the bridge will begin later this month. Now, this comes after the DNR said it would replace the bridge with an ADA compliant version following 6 months of pushback from the community and lawmakers, because again, originally the DNR wanted to just remove the bridge completely. The bridge connects the Traverse City State Park to its beach. It was planned to be torn down and replaced with just a light and a crosswalk. So the work to take down the bridge will start at 6 p.m. on Saturday, September 20th. It will continue until 6 a.m. the next day. The DNR says that after the pedestrian bridge is removed, the stairs and remaining structure will be taken down in 2 stages. And during construction, there will be temporary lane closures and traffic shifts. We do have more information along with a full statement from the DNR about the project over on our website, UpNorthLive.com. Well, people in Otsego County are celebrating wildlife, but in a bit of a new way. Meteorologist Ethan Foreman shows us how.
Otsego County has a unique tourist attraction focused on its forests.
Otsego County is blessed with a huge variety of wildlife here, but the wildlife, the animal we're most renowned for is the elk.
The Pigeon River Country State Forest is home to one of the largest free-roaming elk herds east of the Mississippi River.
The Conservation Department, now known as the DNR, imported 7 elk from Colorado in 1918, and we just saw a steady growth of the elk population.
The elk population is a tourism draw, and a recent construction project is helping visitors get a good view.
We're here at Elkview Park, which borders Aspen Park. We're about a half mile south of Gaylor if you go on Old 27 to Commerce Boulevard.
City and council leaders are now taking the celebration one step further, passing a resolution to recognize elk as the official wildlife mascot of Otsego County, sealed with a new elk emblem promoting the area's wildlife assets.
We're proud to be one of the wildlife success stories in the state of Michigan. A lot of care is put into caring for the herd both here at Aspen and up in their natural habitat, up in the Pigeon River Country State Forest.
You can see elk year-round, but the fall and early winter is when you will see the most movement. In Otsego County, Ethan Foreman, UpNorthLive News.
Looking ahead now, the Traverse City Arts Commission is adding a creative twist through the downtown area with a new festival. The Traverse City Arts Commission is adding, again, that creative twist around downtown. The inaugural Traverse City Mural Festival is the leading project of the North Boardman Creative Initiative to bring in the visual arts to the community. 6 different artists will paint 7 walls around the North Boardman Lake District. Some mural locations include Oriana, Silver Spruce, Bay Family Vision, EB2 Vintage, and the Filling Station.
Traverse City is already a very vibrant artistic community. I would just love to see it on the walls.
And in addition to the live artwork, the commission is partnering with local businesses to host events throughout the festival. The festival begins on Friday and will run until September 17th. Okay, well, if you notice that we don't have a question of the day yet, that's because our question of the day is related to sports. So we're going to talk about that a little later. I'm going to give you a sneak peek now just in case you do want to vote before we get to the sports segment. If you are a Lions or Packers or football fan, all eyes were on the TV yesterday. A heartbreaking loss for the Lions, a pretty rough game one, a great game for the Packers. They looked quite exceptional out there. So our question of the day is related to the Lions and their week 1 loss, I should say. It's which area of the ball are you more concerned about, offense or defense? So if you want to head over to our website, UpNorthLive.com, you can vote on our question of the day, and you can also leave a comment with any of your thoughts. It is a safe space. I know sometimes after a rough loss like that, you just need to get some words out. So we're here to listen, and we will take a look at those results and some of your comments during our sports segment. We're also going to talk with Harrison more about that game and what his thoughts are on, which side of the ball he's most concerned about. I'm sure a lot of folks after watching yesterday's game are concerned about both sides of the ball. So that's going to come up a little later, but we are going to take a quick break right now. And coming up next, we're going to bring Joe back in. He'll have much more on your forecast for the rest of the week. Sounds like it's going to be a pretty nice one. If you missed those 70-degree days and sunshine, this week could be a good week for you. He will have all of those details for you in just a couple of minutes.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Warmer weather is on the way for this week, but Joe, you mentioned that some folks might also see a bit of rain over the next couple of days. So who's most likely to see that rain?
Yeah, if you're way up near Lake Superior, and we have viewers there north of Newberry over toward Whitefish Point, that area tomorrow, maybe a few showers. That's it. Otherwise, it looks pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to Interlochen. This is in Grand Traverse County, and this is earlier today, our UpNorthLive Skyview drone. The one thing I took away from this, yeah, we have a little cloud cover up there earlier today, but not a lot of color yet. I mean, I've seen just driving around a few trees starting to change a little bit, but yeah, imagine 3-4 weeks from now, this will, well, I don't imagine, I know it will. It'll look a lot different. Let's take a look at Houghton Lake. We'll go there right now. This is a live look, 64 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Houghton Lake started this morning at 64 right now, but started the day at 31 this morning. So there's a look at the overnight lows. This is what we woke up to this morning. Grayling 30, 31 at Houghton Lake, Cadillac, Lake City over toward West Branch. That was where the coolest temperatures were. So we did, yeah, in some cases have a little bit of frost in spots last night. Our three big things in weather: pleasant late summer weather coming up this week. After a little bit of a cooler weekend, we were looking at 70s most days, but not a lot of rain. Could see a few showers up north Tuesday, Wednesday. We kind of just talked about that. I'll show you that on Stormcast. And then maybe some rain next weekend. Some of the model guidance that we look at varies on what will happen next weekend, but it's possible. So just giving you a heads up, maybe a little rain next weekend. Here's the view around the Upper Great Lakes tonight, our satellite and radar picture. Not a whole lot here, but let's zoom in up here. Let's draw a square in there. We'll zoom into this region. And yeah, look at the rain. That's in the arrowhead of Minnesota, approaching western Lake Superior. Some of that rain may try to work in to the eastern UP tomorrow. So here's what that looks like. You can see rain around Marquette, the western UP tomorrow morning, and then slowly trying to work in around Newberry, Whitefish Point. So that's that chance for rain. If you're in lower Michigan, south of the Mackinac Bridge, you're not going to get any rain at all. It'll stay on the dry side tomorrow with a partly cloudy sky. And then this front kind of falls apart, and you can see maybe a shower or two Wednesday morning, and then Wednesday afternoon through Thursday looks pretty quiet. Here's a look at rain. We'll expand this out to the west as well, not just our area. And again, the western UP, anywhere from a ½ inch up to an inch of rain there. And then there's a sharp cutoff because by the time we get to our region, not a whole lot. In fact, in lower Michigan, it doesn't look like really much of any rain at all. So let's take a look. This is a pretty nice stretch Tuesday through Friday. Notice those temperatures staying in the 70s, even upper 70s. Somebody might flirt with 80 perhaps as we head through Friday. And then next weekend, we'll keep an eye on that chance for showers or rain. Not a slam dunk right now, Maya, but something we're going to keep an eye on.
Just feels good to see the 70s back in the forecast.
A little stretch of nice weather here.
All right, Joe, thank you so much for that. We are going to take a quick break, but coming up next, we will bring in sports director Harrison Beebe to break down that Lions-Packers game and take a look at some of the prep plays of the week from week 2 of high school football. All of that straight ahead. Not the way the Lions were hoping to start the season as they fall on the road to the Packers 27-13. For more on the game, let's turn things over to Sports Director Harrison Beebe live from our content center. Harrison, what would you say the biggest takeaway from that loss was?
The Lions were not ready to play regular season football. And I don't think it takes a sports expert. I'm not even labeling you and I as sports experts. I don't think it takes the biggest NFL fan in the world to recognize that one team was prepared for week one, which is ironic because they were breaking in their brand new toy, Micah Parsons, and he seemed to play pretty well with only a week and a half with Green Bay. And the Lions, for the most part, whether it's you want to blame the lack of preseason play or the inexperience of the coordinators or the defense getting healthy again and Aiden Hutchinson back in the line, whatever you want to attribute to some newness and some lack of chemistry, it seemed to be all on display. And even the things you think would be guaranteed to work well, Jahmyr Gibbs on the ground, Jared Goff actually had a lot of completions in the game, so it looked like box score-wise he was humming along pretty good. But his offensive line, Maya, I know that was one of your least favorite parts of the game. That definitely was not regular season ready. And so, yeah, it's a tough call, but I think the defense is a work in progress in a lot of ways all the time. The offense is kind of that staple, even without Ben Johnson. It's that thing that should work with all those superstar players. So I think if we're going to be discouraged about something, keep in mind, this team almost went without a touchdown this game. And for the Lions, who had the best offense in football last year, that's remarkable to think that that would have happened at the start of this year, and that's what almost happened if it wasn't for Isaac Tesla's amazing catch yesterday at the end of the game.
The one bright spot, the silver lining of the entire game. So I do want to pull up our question of the day. I mentioned this earlier, and I want to get your opinion on it, Harrison. So which side of the ball are you most worried about? Like you mentioned, both sides definitely need some work. I don't think anyone is completely happy with the offense or completely happy with the defense, but in your opinion, which side are you most worried about?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I just hinted to you. The offense, to me, that should be more of a sure thing, even with John Morton, the new offensive coordinator, kind of finding his schemes that he's comfortable with. But you'd expect that group to be a little more in sync and comfortable with what they're doing. And whether it was Green Bay's defense or just the Lions' lack of preparedness because they didn't play in the preseason, that was a little underwhelming to see that side of the ball play like that yesterday.
All right, so head over to our website to vote. But Harrison, let's also talk a little bit about high school football week 2. Sounds like there's a lot of big plays.
We need a lot of people voting. Isaac Tesla is not in high school anymore, even though he was in-state at Hudsonville, downstate, a few years ago. But our prep play of the week voting is up. It's going until 10:30 tonight. We have several local athletes. Got Gaylord, Boyne City, McBain, Central Lake, and Gaylord St. Mary, all represented with different athletes this week. And as you can see right now, Boyne City's Owen Hewitt leading the way with 48%. But that poll closes at 10:30, so there's still 3.5 hours. And I've seen these things circulate on social media, and a lot of communities will rally around their athlete every week. So there's still plenty of time. And we will reveal tonight at 11 the winner of this week's prep play of the week.
All right, Harrison, well, thank you so much for joining us as always. So head over to our website to vote on the prep play of the week and our question of the day for Unscripted, because coming up next, we are going to look at those results for the question of the day and read a few of your comments. So we'll do all that in just about a couple minutes. Stay with us.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Yesterday was certainly a bittersweet day for us Lions fans. The day started off all exciting, like, oh my gosh, we get to watch our team play again. And then as soon as the game started, kind of just went downhill. And it was one of those games where you just kept waiting for the Lions to do something, to come back, and they never did. So our question of the day today is, which side of the ball are you most worried about when it comes to the Detroit Lions? 64% are saying offense, 36% defense. Over on Facebook, we do have some comments that are saying both, and we have some people who are saying, I'm not worried about anything yet. Keep in mind, it is only week 1. Still a lot of time to figure out these kinks and get the new players more adjusted. So join the conversation over on our Facebook page, but we are all out of time here on Unscripted. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here at 11 o'clock tonight.